How do you want to be remembered? What matters to you in this whole discussion of what do you want people to think of?
It's I've always said that I wanted to be remembered as a player that didn't waste a moment. Welcome to the Kobe Show, take 2. Didn't waste a day.
Kobe, Kobe, Kobe.
And I felt extremely blessed by the God-given talent. But at the same time, I didn't take it for granted at all. So if I could be remembered as a person that was born with a lot of talent, but did everything he could to try to overachieve, and lived every day as if he was the 12th guy on the bench, I think that's a very powerful message to have, and something that hopefully the players that are now and players that'll come later choose to embody as well.
It's gonna be a tough one, man. Anybody that knows me, I'm really into basketball. It's been a staple of my life, my entire life. And no celebrity death hit me harder than Kobe. It's still really hard for me to watch the highlights, but I forced myself to watch that clip. I really want to talk about it, but I don't know how I'm gonna react. So, this is pretty raw. My Ducks, my Swans, welcome to the pond. My name is Dorian from Group82music.com, and right here we got Kobe Bryant talking about how he wants to be remembered. There's been a few times in my life where I question God. I know a lot of people gonna be in the comments wondering why I did that, or religious, or blasphemy, or spirituality, whatever. But there's a few times when that happens, And my cousin Jerusha, she died a few years ago. She was 30 years old. She was in medical school. She died of cancer. A very, very religious person, a great person, had great energy, and she's no longer here. I questioned God when that happened. When my Uncle Rec died when he was 50 in a car accident, he had a heart attack and he slammed into a wall, I questioned that. There's been things like what happened with babies and children, but the situation with Kobe and all the people that was on that helicopter, that is something that I still haven't gotten past. And this is the first video I filmed in January 2021. It's January 1st, 2021 today. So a couple more weeks is going to be the 1-year passing of Kobe and Gianna and everybody's on that helicopter. And I still haven't really, I don't know if I'll ever get closure on it. And I'm not saying that like I need to get closure for it to be better, because it never is, but I still can't grasp or wrap my head around it. And a lot of it has to do with culture. A lot of it has to do with basketball. A lot of it has to do with being a black man in America and growing up and seeing Kobe from when he was 17, when I was 11, to when he passed away in his 40s. A lot of it has to do with being a dad. I got this shirt on. It's a black-owned company. Dope Dad Gang. Go check them out. And Kobe died with his little girl in his arms. There's just no answer for that. There's nothing that really explains why that happened in the way it did. So the only way that I've really been able to process this and not go down that deep rabbit hole that I so often do is I think about what Kobe left. He was a motherfucker. And even if you weren't a Lakers fan, which I wasn't, even if you were somebody that rooted against him or whatever on the court, you knew that he gave it everything he had all the time. I'm not just saying this because he passed away. I said this when he was alive. Pre-James Harden and now probably pre-Kevin Durant, Kobe Bryant was the greatest perimeter scorer of all time. Michael Jordan's the best basketball player ever to me. Kobe was the greatest perimeter scorer. The reason being is Kobe studied the game like nobody's business. And he studied everything Michael did and brought it into his generation. When I was coaching at Mount Verde under Kevin Sutton, Coach Sutton used to work the Nike Skills Academies. Kobe had one where they would take the top 20 shooting guards in America, the high schoolers, and bring them out to LA, and Kobe would run the Skills Academy there for a week. It was like a camp. And after everybody would leave, Kobe would do his workout. And during his workout, Kobe would place shoes on the court, just shoes. Nobody in them, just shoes on the court. so he could visualize the angles with the shoes there, like it was a game. And if you watch his eyes when he was on offense, when he was playing, he was looking at people's feet all the time. His footwork is immaculate. It's probably the best in NBA history. That comes from studying. That comes from being dedicated to your craft. That comes from being a student of the game. And you hear what he said right here. Kobe was 6'6", 200 pounds, had a crazy vertical. He had the natural talent. 6'7", my fault. His dad played in the NBA. So he had everything he needed to be successful. But there are a lot of 6'7", 240-inch vertical dudes that didn't make it. Kobe did make it. And he became one of the greatest because of the shit he just said right here. He was fanatical with his approach, maniacal with his approach. He wanted to be the best. He didn't just lean on his talent. And so many of us do that. If you're a musician, you lean on the talent that I'm such a dope artist, my music should get out there. That's not the fucking case, man. Your music's gonna get out there if you push it to get out there. Talent don't mean shit. If you're a dope entrepreneur, dope t-shirt maker, dope chef, dope public speaker, dope academician, whatever it is, you still have to dedicate yourself to the game. You gotta dedicate yourself to your craft. You gotta become a student of the game. And if somebody like Kobe did that, and you look at everything he's about to do with business, if he can do that, as one of the greatest in NBA history, what's your excuse? This is what I take when I see Kobe clips. This is what I take when I hear him talk. I take that hard work beats talent when talent don't work hard. But when you got both, you can't be fucking stopped. We'll never get past the situation. It was a massive loss, not just for black people, but worldwide. But anytime you see Kobe, I want you to think about this clip. I want you to think about his words. And I want you to look at his approach from being the 18-year-old kid who shot 3 air balls versus the Utah Jazz in the NBA playoffs to becoming one of the greatest players in NBA history. That's a lot of goddamn work. That's a lot of nights in the gym by yourself. That's a lot of deep-rooted belief in studying of the game, studying the craft. It's how you gotta be, you wanna be successful. That's what I took from Kobe Bryant. That's the gift that he gave me. Rest in peace, Kobe. Rest in peace, Gianna. Rest in peace, everybody that was on the helicopter. That's all I got. I'm out the pond. Y'all stay true.
Group82music.com.